Most guys think that creating sexual tension is about saying bold things or flirting directly. But here's the truth. It's not what you say. It's how you make her feel between the lines. It's the pause before you reply, the mystery behind your tone, the emotion your words awaken without ever being explicit. Real tension isn't about rushing. It's about anticipation. And once you learn how to control that, you will realize that desire isn't built in the moment, it's built in the silence that follows. 1. Understand the energy behind the words. Every message you send carries an energy, and women feel it. If you text like you're desperate for her attention, she'll sense it immediately. But if your messages have calmness, confidence, and subtlety, that's what creates curiosity. Think of it like music. Sometimes the most powerful part of a song isn't the note itself, but the pause that makes you want more. That's how sexual tension begins, not in what you say, but in what you don't say. It's like playing a game of rhythm. You send a message. Wait, let her wonder. You don't rush. You don't over-explain. You let the conversation breathe. That's how you create that magnetic pull, by mastering the tempo of your words. The guy who understands this never has to chase. His silence does the talking for him. That's the first rule. Never try to impress her through words. Impress her through presence. The energy of someone who doesn't need to prove anything is impossible to resist. 2. Subtlety is more powerful than direct flirting. The difference between tension and cringe is subtlety. A guy who tries too hard loses the mystery. The real game is to make her feel something without spelling it out. It's like looking at someone a second longer than normal. It says everything without saying a word. On WhatsApp, this means being playful, hinting, and using tone shifts that make her curious. Simple, you have no idea what you do to people, do you? Creates 10 times more impact than a direct compliment. Why? Because it triggers imagination. It makes her wonder. That's the space where tension lives, in curiosity, not clarity. If you're too direct, it ends. But if you're subtle, she keeps replaying your message in her head. That's when you've already won, when she starts imagining what you meant. 3. Use humor as an emotional connector. Tension without comfort turns into awkwardness. That's where humor comes in. A well-timed joke disarms her and lowers resistance, making your vibe more natural. Think of humor as a bridge. It allows her to relax enough to feel attracted without realizing it's happening. It doesn't have to be over the top. A small tease like "I should probably stop talking to you before you get me in trouble" adds charm without being heavy-handed. It keeps the energy playful, flirty, but safe. The trick is to never joke at her. Always joke with her. It's the kind of humor that creates chemistry. Because at the end of the day, laughter is the first step to attraction. 4. Create emotional contrast. Tension thrives on contrast. It's not about being predictable. It's about making her feel a range of emotions. One moment you're making her laugh, the next you send a quiet, thoughtful message. That emotional switch is what keeps her engaged. You can say something like, "It's crazy how I can joke around with you and still feel like we understand each other on a deeper level." That's duality. It shows emotional depth and playfulness at once. Most guys stay stuck on one note. But the ones who know how to mix warmth and mystery make her feel something real. It's not just texting, it's storytelling, and you're the main character she can't stop thinking about. 5. Master the power of pauses. People underestimate the power of waiting before replying. But silence builds anticipation like nothing else. When you answer too fast, you kill the rhythm. When you wait the right amount, you build desire. Think of it like a movie scene. If everything happens too quickly, there's no suspense. But if there's a pause before the kiss, the tension skyrockets. That's how it works in messages too. Don't rush to respond. Let the moment hang. She realizes you're not glued to your phone. She starts wondering what you're doing, and that's when attraction grows. Mystery always amplifies desire. 6. Paint pictures with your words to create tension. You don't need to be explicit. You just need to be suggestive. Use imagination. Describe feelings, not actions. For example, instead of saying "I want you," say "There's something about you that's dangerously distracting." See the difference? One is physical, the other is emotional, and emotions are far more powerful. Words that trigger the senses like imagine, feel, close, or slowly can transform a regular chat into something magnetic. You're not talking dirty. You're building a scene. That's what separates ordinary conversation from unforgettable ones. You're not just sending texts, you're painting experiences in her mind. 7. Know when to pull back. The real secret to maintaining tension is knowing when to stop. If you push too far, it breaks. But if you leave her hanging just enough, she'll crave more. Just think of it like dancing. The step back is just as important as the step forward. Sometimes ending a chat on a high note is smarter than dragging it on. Say something like, "I'll stop here before you start missing me too much." It's playful, but it leaves a mark. That's the beauty of restraint. It keeps the spark alive. The guy who knows when to pull back always stays in her mind longer than the one who overstays his welcome. Conclusion. At the end of the day, creating sexual tension isn't about technique. It's about energy. It's knowing when to speak, when to hold back, and when to let silence say everything. Once you master that, you'll realize attraction isn't built through effort, but through presence. So tell me, are you using WhatsApp to connect? Or to push people away without realizing it? Think about it. And if you want to keep learning how to master the art of conversation and attraction, subscribe and stay tuned, because this is where real communication begins.